Evening and welcome to Teagasc Ballyhaise Agricultural College. You come here to County Cavan on a beautiful early spring evening. The cherry blossoms are beginning to flower. Most importantly, it's dry outside. Tonight we come from one of our workshops, our second year workshops. You can see the bench behind me is one of the projects that our students have just made. Tonight is about you. It's about you being able to ask questions here live to our panellists. We're joined by a member of staff, a student and past student. My name's John Kelly, I'm the college principal. Let's go and meet our panellists. Niall, you're very welcome. You're our technician here. I'd like you to just introduce yourself to your audience.
Thank you, John. Yeah, so my name's Niall Connolly. I'm the sheep technician here in Ballyhaise Agricultural College. I've grown up in Ballyhaise. I've lived here all my life, so thankfully the commute to work in the mornings doesn't be too bad, thankfully. I'm a past student to the college. I started in 2009 the joint course programme of Dundalk Institute of Technology and Ballyhaise, where I would have graduated 4 years later with a level 8 honours degree in agriculture. From there I got plenty of opportunities in the line of agriculture. I would have went to England for 6 months and worked on a large scale crop farm. After that then I got the opportunity to go to Australia for just under 2 years, and like that was on large scale dairy farms and crop farms. From then I came home, the travel bug was still in me I suppose, and a huge interest in dairying at that point, where I would have went to Cork for a length of time and worked as a dairy farm manager down in Cork. I decided to come home eventually, and I would have took up a job with a private agricultural consultant. I was there for just over 2 years, John, and then at that point the job opportunity came up here, so I applied for the job and thankfully I got the role as the...
And Niall, you're a technician here, so your role is skills and teaching skills.
That's correct, John, yeah. So my day-to-day role here would be to bring students out, the likes of Chloe here and her classmates, level 5s and level 6s, and participate with them on giving the sheep skills and assessing them on them skills throughout the year.
Okay, thanks Niall. So before we get in to meet our first panellists tonight, just to remind you that the whole point of tonight is to give you the opportunity to ask questions live as we present here from Ballyhaise. I'd like now to move to our first panellist, and we caught up with Chloe. She's one of our first year students here last week while she was attending the college on practical skills outside.
My name is Chloe Minari and I come from Tullahin in County Leitrim, and I come from a sheep and suckler enterprise down at home, and we have roughly about maybe 45 sheep and about 40 cows and calves. Ever since I was a baby I've been around the farm with my uncles and my granda and my mum, and I chose Ballyhaise because my uncle came here and he got his green cert, so I said I'd give it a go and hopefully we'll get through it. When we're up at the college, we're doing a lot of outdoor activities with the sheep and with the cows, and I done my work placement here in October, and it was dairy and sheep and the sucklers all in one. We were getting a bit of everything, and it was a really good experience. The staff are all really lovely and helpful, and they're all very good when we were here, and they have great facilities and they're taking COVID very seriously. They have everything in line that needs to be, and overall it's very good. When I first came here I thought, the practicals would get me through, and I think we're doing okay. And then the theory, I'm not book smart, but the teachers are very helpful with that and they are helping me get through it, so that's not too bad. I just personally wouldn't be very theory side, I'm more practical, but overall the teachers are very helpful and they're helping every student to the best of their abilities, even during the circumstances. Like, they have been very good, and the course, like, I'm enjoying it. Like, it's both theory and practical, and I love the practicals more than anything, and it's very good overall. My favourite module would be the sheep. I love sheep. I could do anything with a sheep. So yeah, I think sheep would have to be my favourite module. There's been lots of skills that I've learned, but in particular we learned how to do the dry matter of the grass and learned how to measure it and stuff like that. And I've never done it until I came up here before, so I know how to do it now at home, and hopefully that'll benefit me to do it at home. Hopefully I'll have my own sheep farm and a few suckler cows at home one day, But for now, I'm hopefully going to try finish my green cert and get through that, and then we can try set up my own sheep farm and own suckler farm.
So as you send your questions in, they'll come up and on my tablet here, and I'm able to pass them on to our panellists. Chloe, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're a farmer, very clearly from that video, a sheep farmer. So can you tell us a little bit more about your passion for farming?
Yeah, well, ever since I was younger, I was always out on the farm helping my grand and my two uncles who all have sheep at home. So it all has started since I was very young.
And were you always did you always think about being a student in an agriculture college? Is that something you've thought a lot about?
I don't think it was always the path I was going to take. It was more recent years that I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. I love the outdoors, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see how I get on.
Yeah. And interestingly, Cavan is in the northern half of the country, and sheep farming it's really important to a lot of our students that come here, a very important farming sector, and that's your interest, sheep.
Yes, yeah, that would be my main interest. I do like cows, but I'd prefer the sheep overall.
Yeah, and your sheep, you've worked with sheep at home with your uncles?
Yeah, and my granddad.
Very good. Niall, sheep, that's your area within the college here in teaching sheep skills. Can you talk me through some of the skills that you've taught to the Chloe and her fellow students?
The likes of Chloe and the rest for level 5 students that come in along with her back, say, in September. And September it's a big month in any sheep farm. You're preparing for ram turnouts for a mid-season flock. So as soon as the students arrive at that time of year, we go into 3 or 4 main skills, which would be identifying breeds and crosses in ewes, getting to understand the different types of ewes, the breeds that we have in crossbreeding. Then probably one of the biggest skills that, in my opinion, is the body condition scoring of ewes. So we get a true impact on body condition scoring all the ewes at that point in the year. And throughout the year, the students get a good grasp on that. We'll also do a bit on selecting ewes for culling, and then aging by teat then, which is a very interesting skill, and the students they learn an awful lot from them 4 main skills. As the year goes on then, we'll be doing a lot more skills on vaccine ewes, injected ewes, and dosing sheep and dosing lambs. And they are very good skills for a student to learn how to correctly do it. It can be done wrong, and it does be done wrong in many cases, but here at the college it's a great way for them to learn how to correctly do it. Rolling on then, a couple of months in January, which is the big month for the level 5 students. They'll get a week of lambing here in the college with the early lambing flock that we have in place. Them skills, there's 5, 6 main skills in it. So to be preparing a lambing pen, the pen size, the correct hygiene that goes into it, having feed and water in place for it then.
Okay. We've actually lots of questions coming in, so I'll get some to you, Chloe. First of all, what's the mix between practical and theory? Like you said in the video, you love the practical side of it.
Yeah, it's pretty much 50-50. I'm not really more of a theory girl. I do like the practicals more, but it is 50-50, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. And the name of the course that you're doing is the Level 5?
Certificate in Agriculture.
Yeah, because one of our, Alana wanted to know what's the name of the course. She'd love to do the course, so it's a Level 5 Certificate in Agriculture.
Yeah.
They want to know about the practical as well. So, as you said, it's 50-50. We have Kieran here. Is there much practical work in the green cert year, the second year? But we might come back to that when we talk to Enda shortly. Chloe, maybe if you talk to me about your class. There's girls and boys in your class.
Yeah. When I came here, I didn't think there would be half as many girls as there is here. So there is a good variety of girls, and they're split up that there's at least 3 or 4 girls in each group, which is good. So you're not just by yourself with a lot of boys. There is 2 or 3 other girls with you.
Yeah, there's over 20 girls in the class.
Yeah.
And you probably thought there mightn't be that many girls.
I thought 5 at the most would be here, but
Yeah.
I was very surprised and thankful that there was more.
Yeah, there's well over a quarter of the girls in the class.
I suppose that's one thing, since I was a student, say 10 years ago, in the Dundalk course, there was 2, maybe 3 girls in the class. And now this year, first years, it's up in half, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great to see it in a way that the females...
And Chloe, you probably notice no difference at all? Like you're just as good at skills as...
Yeah, there's not much of a difference. There might be 1 or 2 things, but not much.
No, and that's exactly it.
Yeah, very good, yeah.
Yeah, very good. I noticed then, Chloe, on the video, there's skills that you haven't never seen at home before, like grass measuring is the one you mentioned. And
Yeah, no, I've never done that at home before. So it was a great experience to learn that up here. So I can hopefully bring it back to our farm down at home and try it out there.
Yeah, so grass really does underpin. It improves our profitability now. Maybe you just explain about the importance of that skill.
Definitely, yeah. And the way agriculture is at the moment, we're farming here and emphasising the importance of sustainability in farming, and let that be grass measuring and increasing your soil fertility on the farm. So especially the type of drumlin lands that we have, they're challenging grounds. So if we can emphasise to students how we grow grass, how we measure it and utilise it to the best we can. I've brought it home to my own farm, and I do know a lot of students, including Chloe here, would often bring back questions on how to correct grass measuring, etc., and bringing it forward. So yeah, it is very beneficial. Yeah.
Okay. Chloe, you're actually, up until you stayed here on site with us. You're not that far from the college, but it suited you to live here up until Christmas before the restrictions prohibited our students from staying on site. And I have a video now just to share with you the sort of facilities that we have here for our students living on site, and we'll have a look at that. One of the common questions at our college open day is, what is it like to come and stay at Ballyhaise College? Learners can come from any county across the whole island. We have 50 bedrooms with fast fibre supported Wi-Fi. We have a TV room and games room with facilities for preparing refreshments. We have a large kitchen and canteen on site. Our chef prepares menus each day, focusing on fresh, wholesome food, but importantly, where you can get your day's food for less than €15. Outdoor activity and exercise are important for many of our learners. We have a full-size indoor sports hall and access to the local GA pitch, running track and all-weather pitch. The college recreational walks through our woodlands and also along our riverbanks. Fishing and canoeing are popular pursuits in the area and the many rivers and lakes across the county. We have strong football teams that compete in the All-Ireland competitions. Cavan Town is only a few minutes on the local bus link service. This is a typical large regional town with swimming pool, gyms, cinema and bowling alley. Cavan Town has a large student population and an exciting midweek student nightlife that goes with that. All in all, there's plenty to do on our courses during the day, but also many activities in the evenings if you get out and about and explore. I suppose, Chloe, the living on site gave you the opportunity to meet loads of different people. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. Now, it was a lot harder with the COVID restrictions, but I think we made the most of trying to make friends with sticking with the restrictions and everything like that.
And people come from all over, Chloe, the people,
Yes.
especially living in accommodation here.
Yeah, you meet a lot of different people from a lot of different counties, which is good, and you get to experience the way they farm back at home. You can chat them, and it's a lot different to the way I'd farm back at home too.
And what would you say, meeting like-minded people that think the same as you, is that something you've noticed?
Yes, it's a lot different to secondary school when everybody has different interests, but at least when you're at college, you're all here to learn the same things and you all have the same interest.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Just on that point, it's amazing you see the interaction between, say, students in Donegal with sheep farming up there in the hills versus over in Meath or Drogheda, Cavan, and there's a great interaction with it and a great discussion brings along with it too, yeah.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions here. The first question, I suppose, it's from Dermot, and so the level 5 course is a one-year course. What happens after that, so to get your green cert? Maybe, Chloe, you might explain that to us and what your intentions are yourself.
Yeah, so hopefully at the end of this year, I'll go on next year to do my level 6, which will be to get my green cert, and hopefully all goes well after that.
Okay, very good. So it takes 2 years to get your green cert.
Yeah, it takes 2 years.
The next question here is from Jamie, and it's to do the distance education, Niall. So you may explain to us about our part-time and distance education programs.
So the 2 programs now are going to start again in the springtime. You've got the part-time course, which is on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening, which runs for 2 years. And then you've got your distance course, which is a full day on a Friday for the full 2 years also.
Okay. And the important thing for distance and part-time courses is to make sure that you log your query with us. Everybody that's logged a query will be emailed in the coming weeks with the offer to apply for those programs. And that's the intention, to offer everybody a place on those programs in the coming weeks, starting in April. Okay, so I'm just going to move now to introduce our next panellist. And we caught up with a student last week. Enda is a past student of the college, and we're very, very proud of his achievement. Last year, he got the overall National Teagasc Student of the Year. Quite an achievement and something to be very proud of. As I said, so we caught up with him when he won the award earlier in the summer. So we'll just have a look at that.
Hello, my name is Farl. We're based here in Ballymahon, County Longford. I'm in partnership with my mother and father. We're currently milking 115 cows. We're new entrants. We started in spring 2020. On this farm, we're predominantly grass-based system. We do feed a certain amount of meal, as little as we can. We're trying to achieve 500 kilos of solids on 500 kilos of meal. That will take time to achieve. We've started off with a young herd of cows here. We decided that the best place for me to go was to Ballyhaise and do 2 years in Ballyhaise and get an advanced certificate in dairy herd management. There are good trials going on with the dairy herd in Ballyhaise. The 3 different herds, and you had your early turnout herd, your mid turnout herd and your late turnout herd, and you could see the benefits from the early turnout herd. The best part of the course I thought that helped me the most developing the farm was your financial planning side of things. We done up a 5-year business plan for setting up a farm, a dairy farm. It gave me great pointers and I knew where to be looking into what I needed to make sure I had right. Your key performance indicators on the farm, they were all very important. The advanced dairy course gave me a great grounding on where I wanted to go. It gave me a focus. I suppose I have a plan now put in place for the future. I know where I need to go, I know what we need to do.
There's still plenty of time to get questions, and I have a few here that I'll get to shortly. And you're welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yes,
Well done.
that was quite an achievement. Yeah, well done. So you give people from all over Teagasc that attended programs the length and breadth of the country. You beat them all. Yeah, so our student of the year. So we're very proud of you. So well done. So you're a graduate of the Level 5 dairy program. But I suppose before we talk about you, there is other options when it comes to second year. So you start off with Level 5. What's the options?
I suppose when you come here first to Ballyhaise, you do your Level 5 in the first year, and you're given options then after that where you want to branch out to. I suppose I went into the dairy side of it in the second year. You can go into the dry stock side, and you can also go to the machinery side as well. So there's a wide variety of options for you. Yeah, so again, we actually looked at our machinery students just started placement there on Monday, and that was the bench that we'd seen at the start behind me. They fabricated that here in the workshop. So Enda, you've been busy. You haven't let the grass grow under your feet since you finished up here. Tell us what you've been at. No, I suppose after the 2 years here, I had a good ground and got in the dairy side of things. In spring 2020, we started milking cows at home. We were beef and sheep farming, and we made the change. I went into a partnership with my mother and father, so there was a structure put in place. I suppose it's a big investment to get into milking cows and that, so there has to be a structure in place, and I suppose Ballyhaise gave me a great foundation of where I needed to be and what I needed to know. There's a question here from Sean, and he's just asking about placement. Yeah. And placement, you probably say that's an important part. Yeah, I suppose I done 12 weeks placement the first year, and I done 16 weeks in the second year. And I suppose that's what you'll learn lots on the ground there. I suppose the theory side of things and the basic practical side of it you'll learn here in Ballyhaise. But then when you get out on placement, I suppose you're seeing the day-to-day running of the farm that you're on and how the thing does work. Yes, and maybe there's another question here about the levels. It's from Kyle, and he's asking about the levels. So you start off with Level 5 in first year. Maybe just go through both courses. Starting in Level 5 in first year, and then you can go to Level 6 where you'll pick your whatever side of farming you want to go to, whether it's your dairy, your beef, or your dry or your mechanics as well. And then I suppose after Level 6, you have the option to go on and do a Level 7 diploma in dairy herd management. And a good few of the lads out of the class done that, and they're now either out managing herds or maybe back home running their own farms as well. And then I suppose if you don't want to do that, you go on and do the Level 8 in Dundalk, which is a further 2 years as well, and you'll have your Level 8 degree out of that, and it leaves you open to a wide range of jobs. And then do you keep in touch with some of your dairy class? Yeah, I suppose you'll make friends from life, friends for life from Ballyhaise. I suppose it's a very tight-knit community within the college. The relationship between the staff and the students is second to none. I suppose the staff are there to help you. They want to see the best, allow you to do the best you can, and I suppose you'll never be seen stuck for any of us. We have a question here from Sean, and he's asking how much it is to go to Ballyhaise. It's €990
per year, so you pay that each year. And we also have a question there on the maintenance grant. So you apply to teagasc.ie for the maintenance grant. Niall, if you talk about the grass is just as important to any of our students, whether they're studying sheep like Chloe or whether they're studying grass like Enda. And is it the same?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's vitally important, and especially in a year like last year when sheep prices were never as good as having in year. So we might as well capitalise on that. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, was to grow the grass and grow your kilos of lamb off the grass. You know.
And the same question, Enda, the grass. How important has that been to you?
Yeah, I suppose it's your main focus on a dairy farm. Is supposed to grow as much grass as you can. It's the cheapest form of feed we can produce, and I suppose there's no point in giving away all your profit if you're going to be putting in big, heavy levels of concentrates when you can grow the grass and you can achieve good yields and fat and protein off the grass, I suppose.
And again, what you've learned about grass with us here in Teagasc?
Well, I suppose your pre-grazing yield is very important. I suppose trying to get into covers of around 1,400 during the summer. I suppose all and off grazing at the shoulders of the year. You'll see here in Ballyhaise, it's heavier soil. I suppose, and when they're able to achieve, I suppose, turning out cows early, anyone can do it.
Okay. I noticed in Chloe's video, Niall, earlier, it's not just actually getting out and walking the grass. There's also software that we teach our students.
Definitely, and it's we use the PastureBase app on the phone, and the good thing about here in the college, we have the GPU with the Satan on it. We have Wi-Fi coverage available throughout the farm. The farm has poor phone coverage at the best of times, so the technology that we use on the farm is we bring that Wi-Fi Jeep out with us. We can measure the grass and we can upload that data straight away on either through a laptop or onto a phone. So when I have a group of students with me, at the end of the grass walk, I can show them the wedge that we have. I can show them the growth that we had that week, the grass curve that we have available for us. So it is a lot of information can go out. And just when you do mention technology in the sheep enterprise alone, you know, from when I was a student to here now, we've got the automatic weigh-in scales, the EID tag readers, we've the computer handheld, which will correlate lambs back to the mothers and record the data from birth until lamb slaughter. So there is a lot of available technologies throughout the farm, and it is also available in the dairy and the beef enterprises also.
Okay, I have a couple more questions here. One from Eleanor. When can you apply for the level 5?
The level 5 course?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be done.
You apply straight away
yeah.
Online, and we'll talk about that shortly. Kaelan, is there educational requirements to get onto the Green Cert? To get onto the course?
To get onto the course, yeah, well, just a leaving cert and then.
Well, yeah, so you don't actually, there's no educational requirements, you just have to be 17 this year to be able to apply for the course. Okay, so one of the most common questions we get asked at this time of year, almost daily, people phone the college and ask, how do you apply? So I've made a short video earlier just to explain that, and we'll cut in to have a look at actually how do you apply to become a student here. Applying online couldn't be easier. Go to your browser and enter teagasc.ie at the top. Then, when you're on the page, go to the right and you'll see education. Click this. Then go to going to colleges, and under that you'll see apply online. Click this. Then we have the choice of courses along the top. For agriculture, click agriculture courses. And then our first year course is a level 5 certificate in agriculture. Click apply here. For Ballyhaise, click apply online. This is your page for creating your user account to become a student with Teagasc. You enter your email address here. It's important to use your own email address, not a school one, and not an email address belonging to somebody else. So if you haven't got an email address, create a new email address before proceeding. Enter your email address here, and then create your own password. It's important to keep a note of this password, as you will need this many times over the coming months. What I've shown you there is how to apply for our full-time programs, and in particular the level 5 certificate in agriculture program. Anybody considering applying for our part-time and distance programs, they log a query directly with reception, and we'll be emailing you the links for applying for those courses. And I have a couple of questions here I'm just going to share with you. Kieran's asking, what other practicals other than the dairy practicals did you cover in first year?
Well, I suppose grass measuring was a big focus. I suppose, fertiliser application, spraying application. I suppose the use of low emission slurry spreading is a big focus now in the college with the new EU regulations coming in, I suppose, and the use of protected urea, all your fertilisers as well, is all focusing on. I suppose drying off cows then as well at your times of the year, how to do it properly, and I suppose using good hygiene and everything.
This question, Thomasina is asking, what does the Green Cert help you achieve? Well, I don't think there's anybody better to answer that question than you. You're actually actively using it. What does it help you achieve?
Well, I suppose if your aim is to go home full-time farming, I suppose farming now, you have to look at it as a business. I suppose a work-life balance is another thing. Like, it's farming now, it's different than years ago. I suppose there has to be a start time and a finish time. I suppose running a successful farm is a big thing, one that you can have an income out of for yourself.
And that's particular focus in second year, where we look at the farm business. You brought that in.
I suppose we done up each of us in the class done up a farm business plan, and I suppose the farm business plan I done up with was the one that I used going forward, and I suppose I brought it to the accountant and to banks and everything when we were looking for the initial investment to start up our business.
Okay, the next one, Niall, is about placement abroad. And normally in second year, placement abroad is...
Yeah, it would have been in some past students would have went abroad and went to New Zealand in different cases. Now I know due to COVID restrictions, obviously we put a stop.
It's limited at the minute.
Limited, yeah.
But that's not going to last. So yeah, students do placement abroad.
Placement abroad, yeah.
You've been abroad. You've worked abroad as
I have,
well.
yeah, I have as well.
Would you have any advice to people considering?
Definitely at a young age, when you get the opportunity, grab it and go for it.
Yeah, it's Aaron was asking. So
Aaron, yeah. You get that opportunity, definitely go for it. Like I said, I went to England 6 months, in Australia just under 2 years. I worked in some of the largest grain farms, probably over in Australia. Worked and seen herds of cows, thousands of dairy cows at a time. Brilliant experience. The contacts I met actually in Australia were contacts that I got set up in Cork then as a farm manager, and then back home to Cavan and also. So it was great travelling abroad. You make great contacts and seen a bit of the world. Like, so definitely get your degree, work hard, and if I had any bit of advice, start off and when you have the opportunity, take that and travel.
Yeah, okay, there's a question here. When do you apply for the level 5? Straight away, we said. Online, yeah. We just showed the video of that. And the second question, are students on site?
At the moment, yes. They're on strike for practicals and in smaller groups, obviously to COVID restrictions in place, and we're all wearing face masks. It was very successfully run. Now the second year dry stock students have been on placement. They're out for 16 weeks now, and the first year students would have went on placement from yesterday for 4 weeks.
And how have we been doing classes?
All through Zoom class, John.
Zoom
classes. Through Zoom class, yeah.
Okay, and are we going to be on site in September? Well, the plan is, if we're allowed to be on site, we'll certainly be on site. As I say, so far we've been on site for practicals, and we intend to be on site come September. We talked about progression, and you mentioned that already. There's a question here from Anya who's asking about progression. So how did you apply for level 6 after you had the first year level 5 done?
So I suppose during level 5 the decision was made. I suppose you'll decide where you want to go. If you want to go on to Dundalk, I suppose after level 5 you can, and then if you don't think you're ready for that, you can stay and you can do the level 6, and you'll decide whether you want to branch into your dairy, your dry stock, or your mechanical side of it.
Or as you said, you can actually progress on after level 6.
Yeah, after level 6 then you can go on and do your diploma in dairy herd management.
Yeah, okay, and just to clarify, Dundalk now have a requirement that you have to have a level 6 to progress into the degree. So that's it. We're going to finish up. I would just like to thank you, in particular the viewers, for giving us your time this evening and considering studying with Teagasc, in particular here in Ballyhaise College. I'm delighted that you've joined us, and we're available to answer questions every day. Just give me a call yourself. I'll answer your questions, or talk to some of our staff, our administration staff, and they're able to answer questions. As I said, our part-time and distance students, ring the college, make sure you give your query to the college, and anybody that's on our list, we'll be emailing them invites to apply for courses. We will accept applications straight away. We look forward to seeing you come September. And as I say, I just want to thank my panelists, Chloe, Enda, and Niall, and wish you all the best and good evening.